Please like my videos, please subscribe to my channel, and please press the bell icon so that you get to know when my latest video has come. And to learn more and to find a video relevant to you, please do check out my videos list.
Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. I have already done some videos on why planets get exalted in certain signs and why planets get debilitated in certain signs and what is the reason behind it. And in a nutshell, I had captured that planets get exalted in those signs which share a lot of complementary energies to the characteristic of the planet, and so when planets go into those signs, the energies are accentuated, enhanced, and so they get exalted, and that benefit is given to the person on whose horoscope the planet gets exalted in. Similarly, planets get debilitated in where the characteristic of the sign in which the planet is getting placed in is contrary to what the personality of the planet is, what the planet represents, and so a lot of energy is sucked out and taken away or compromised when the planet gets placed in a certain sign where it gets debilitated in, for example moon in Scorpio, and hence the result of the planet comes to be debilitated or brought to naught, or even in certain times give contrary results to what is expected of the planet, and sometimes very challenging results also may come by from a planet which is debilitated. So we have already talked about it, we have already done videos around it. Now, why are there certain signs, for example like Gemini or like Leo or Sagittarius and Aquarius, where planets neither get exalted in, neither get debilitated in, where planets get neither exalted in nor get debilitated in, or only debilitated but not exalted in, for example the sign of Scorpio. Now for Gemini, no planet gets exalted or debilitated in Gemini. Similarly in Leo, no planet gets exalted or debilitated. In Scorpio, no planet gets exalted but moon gets debilitated in Scorpio, whereas in Sagittarius again no planet gets exalted or debilitated. Same thing for Aquarius, no planet gets exalted or debilitated in. So why are these planets, why are these signs not given the authority of exaltation? And to a large extent out of these four definitely do not have the power of even debilitation except Scorpio. I have talked about it in separate video where Scorpio is an outlier, where planets get only debilitated in, moon gets debilitated in Scorpio, but no other planet gets exalted in. On the contrary, in other signs, for example in Virgo, Mercury gets exalted but Venus gets debilitated. In Aries, Sun gets exalted but Saturn gets debilitated. In Capricorn, Mars gets exalted but Jupiter gets debilitated. In Cancer, Jupiter gets exalted but Mars gets debilitated in. However, in Scorpio, this is the only sign where moon gets debilitated but no other planet gets exalted. On the contrary, the other four signs, Gemini, Leo, Sagittarius and Aquarius, no planet gets exalted and neither debilitated. So these can be called as a non-exaltation or non-debilitation signs, at least four of them, or if you club all the five together, these are the signs of non-exaltation. Now why are these signs the signs of non-exaltation? So the decoding of that to an extent lies in these houses which these signs represent. For example, Leo and Sagittarius are two fiery signs, also representing the 5th house and the 9th house in the Kalpurush Kundli, and no planet gets exalted in these two signs, neither debilitated in. Why is it so? The 5th house is the house of your Sanchita Karma, that means all your accumulated karma so far, and the 9th house has the Sagittarius energies. The 9th house is represented by the Sagittarius signs in the Kalpurush Kundli, and the 9th house is the house of your Prarabdha Karma. The Sanchita Karma is all your accumulated karma so far in all your previous lives according to Vedic astrology, whereas the 9th house is the house of the karma assigned for this life. Now if any planet gets exalted in the sign which represents either the 5th house or the 9th house, that means the zodiac is directly giving the authority, the power of exaltation for a person to give exalted results pertaining to these houses, which means an easier way of taking care of your Sanchita karma and a very, very easy way of taking care of your Prarabdha karma. So if any planet gets exalted in these signs, then the planet will aid in eradicating or helping to thwart or reduce or take care of all the Sanchita karma, and same thing with the 9th house. The zodiac does not want it so easy for you, because the karma that you may have accumulated over lives could be pertaining to the sacrifices of lot of people who have been associated in your life, and you may have done a lot of wrong to other people's lives, a lot of injustices, so you're carrying that karma, the debts you are carrying. If a planet gets exalted in any of these signs, then an exalted planet will give you an added energy to be able to overcome the Sanchita karma and help you do your Prarabdha karma very easily. And so the zodiac wants you to earn it, not just give it to you on a platter. Second thing, if you look at the Leo sign, the Leo sign is next to the 4th house. The 4th house is the house of moksha, and the 2nd house to any house is the earning of that house, which means if you really want to take care of the moksha of the 4th house, then you'll have to work hard towards moksha to earn the results of the 5th house. So if you're not doing those activities of the 4th house which will help you move towards moksha, then the earning of the 5th house, which is second to the 4th house pertaining to the Sanchita karma, will not be given to you. Same thing, the 9th house is the second house to the 8th house. The 8th house is also the house of moksha, and so if you don't do things where you overcome or help overcome or get towards or move towards moksha, the action that you do move towards moksha of the 8th house, only when you do those actions will the earning come to you of the 9th house, and hence you need to work hard towards moksha related actions of the 4th house and the 8th house to be able to get the gains of the 5th house and the 9th house. The exaltation results will not be given to you on a platter. You have to work hard and earn them, and hence in the signs Leo and Sagittarius, which represent the 5th and the 9th house, no planet gets exalted in. Now what about the sign of Gemini? The Gemini sign is the 3rd sign and rules the 3rd house. What is the 3rd house? The 3rd house is the house of your self-enterprise, your effort, your choices, your willpower. If any planet gets exalted in the sign of Gemini, that means power is given to you to be able to put in more effort, do a very lot of hard work, and to have a very, very strong willpower to achieve. Now if it's so easy, exaltation results are given to you basis your effort, all your efforts will bear fruits. Then why will you remember the Supreme Lord? Why will you do good deeds? Why would you even understand the challenges and tribulations? How will you get the higher learning of the 9th house? Only when you face the challenges, the issues, the tribulations of the 8th house will you get higher learning of the 9th house, and that will help you do your Prarabdha karma of this current life. Same thing with your effort. What is the 3rd house? The house of effort. It is second to the 2nd house. 2nd house is the house of your principles, the values, which means without doing effort with principles and values, exalted results will not come to you, good results will not come to you. But if it was given to you on a platter, that a planet gets exalted in the sign of Gemini, the house of self-enterprise, this house of self-effort, the house of willpower, the house of choice is given to you, then it will be easier for you to do effort. Any effort will give you very, very good results, and hence the sign of Gemini also has no planet getting exalted in it. Now let's come to the very, very karmic sign of Aquarius. Aquarius is given less credit than what it can give you. If you look at the sign of Aquarius, it is the 12th house to the 12th house. That means the losses that the 12th house gives you, you can reduce all the losses, which means the losses of the losses is represented by the 11th house, which means the 11th house of social service, society at large, your network circle, when you do good deeds of the 11th house or to society or to the world at large, then you earn the results of the 12th house. The 12th house is also the house of moksha. So if you do things for society, if you do things for the general society at large, for the world at large, as a citizen, as a world citizen, take up social causes which help the world move towards it, then the earning of the 12th house, because the 12th house is the second house to the 11th house, the earning of the 12th house, the moksha comes to you, and the losses of the 12th house of going to jails, getting clogged in with law and order issues, or with the police, or with the judiciary, all get reduced when you work for the society at large. So if your intention is to work for the society rather than for yourself, then the zodiac can help keep you away from challenges and issues, from hospitals, from clinics, to a large extent law and order issues also, but it will give you the earning, the positive earnings of the 12th house, which is moksha. The other thing, the challenge is, however, that the 11th house is also the house of your wishes and desires. And so the problem, the challenge is that if you get too much caught up in your own wishes and desires, then you will not be able to do anything for the general society, for the world at large. And so the 11th house is also a upacha house, where you will have to learn over a period of time, that if you keep focusing on what I need, what my wishes or desires are, then you will not get the house of gains, or you will not get gains of the 11th house. The 11th house can be the biggest house of gains, societal gains at large, mass adulation, mass hysteria for you, mass success can also come for you from the 11th house. And the 11th house and the second house also talk to each other, where the second house is the fourth house from the 11th house, which means what you do for society, what you do for others, get you gains of the second house. And so they are one of the very important. So these two are very, very important houses, and if they are sharing synergies, then a lot of earning, and also a lot of good livelihood can come to you, a lot of prosperity also can come through you. You will earn those prosperity. However, your wishes and desires should not be at the cost of what you do for the world, and the second house of earning should not be at the cost of your values and principles, what it represents. So if you see, all the signs and houses talk to each other, they complement each other in some way, they supplement each other in some way, they are a balance to each other in some way or the other. So without working towards moksha of the fourth house, fifth house results will not be given to you. Without working and overcoming the challenges and issues of the 8th house through higher learning, through high experiences, the gains of the 9th house will not come to you. So sanchita karma and the prarabdha karma will not be taken away from you, will not be taken care of. Without principles and values that you need to adhere to of the second house, the good results of the third house of your effort will not be given to you. Hence, no planet gets exalted in the sign of Gemini. And without working for society, for the network at large, and doing the work for your karma, which the 10th house represents. The 10th house, the house of karma, the kriyaman karma, means you need to do it on a day-to-day basis, not on a rare occasion. That once in a year I will give some donations, once in a year I will plant some trees, once in a year I'll go on a pilgrimage and I'll take care of that. It doesn't work that way. On a day-to-day basis, if you do your karma, your kriyaman karma consists of certain goals which you have decided for society, and hence the 11th house is the second house to the 10th house. So the earning of your karma will come through the 11th house, and the earning of the 11th house that you do for society will come to you as moksha given to you of the 12th house. So they are all connected. Now, exaltation or debilitation about Scorpio. We have already talked about that moon gets debilitated in Scorpio. However, no planet gets exalted in Scorpio. So in that relation, Scorpio is like the other four signs, which is Gemini, Leo, Sagittarius and Aquarius. So Scorpio is an outlier. Why moon gets debilitated here? And I've already made a separate video on the reason why moon gets debilitated in Scorpio. But just to give you a snapshot of that now, before I move into why no planet gets exalted there. The reason moon gets debilitated in Scorpio is because Scorpio represents the stagnant water, the deep water. The 4th house, the sign of Cancer, represents running water, like a river or like a rivulet or a stream. The 8th house is house of stagnant water, deep water. And the 12th house represents the ocean at large, the seas. And so moon being a planet of luminosity, and that to borrow light from the soul, the sun. Depths where darkness is there, moon loses all its light because moon does not have its own light. Moon's light is a borrowed light from the sun, and hence in the depth it cannot get the light from the sun, it cannot reflect the light from the sun. And so in the depths of the stagnant water, right in the bottom of the lake, the 8th house is more like a lake or a well, deep lake, a very deep well where no light reaches right at the bottom. And it is also the house of issues, tribulations and secrets, deep secrets, those secrets which are not of this world, which are of the nether world, and it's not just easily given to you. And hence when the moon goes into this sign, it gets debilitated, it loses its luminosity, it loses its power. For more detail, please see my video of why moon gets debilitated in Scorpio, because there is much more to it than what I have summarized in this couple of minutes. Now, why does no planet get exalted in Scorpio? The reason being is 8th house is also the house of life and death. In fact, 8th house has been called as the Ayusthan. That means the house of life, because it represents life and a limited life, and that's why it's also called as the house of death or a Marakasthana. But what caters to your life being shortened? The challenges, the issues, the tribulations which the 8th house throws at us every now and then, we get sucked up, our life energy is sucked up in those problems, in those challenges, and hence the more stronger negatively the 8th house is, the lesser duration of life we have. The stronger the 8th house that we have, you will have a longer life. And hence Saturn being the Karaka of the 8th house, if Saturn goes in a friendly sign or own sign or an exaltation in the 8th house, you will find usually, not a guarantee, but usually people with Saturn in the 8th house in a friendly sign or own sign have a longer life than the general population. So keep this in mind, that the 8th house being the house of deep secrets, deep desires, untold things, if a planet goes easily exalted in that sign, then a person can easily get to know with an exalted planet in that the secrets of life, the secrets of the mysteries of the universe, the mysteries of the Supreme Lord itself. Again, that earning has to come to you. What is the earning of the 8th house? The earning of the 8th house is the second house to the 8th house, which is the 9th house. 9th house is the house of spirituality, is of religiosity and higher learning. It is only when you face the challenges, the issues, the problems of the 8th house and use that higher learning to move toward the Supreme Lord, will you take care of your prarabdha karma and understand the spiritual realm and move towards the Supreme Energy, the Supreme Lord. And only then the mysteries will be coming to you, the higher learning will come to you. Higher learning of the 9th house is not just about degrees or higher qualification, it is higher spiritual qualification. That comes only when you are learning to take the experiences or the situation and the tribulation that you face in your life with an open mind and understand these challenges are for higher learning, for your spiritual elevation, and using the help of gurus, the learning of gurus, you move towards higher understanding and you move up the spiritual realm. And hence that is the important relation between the 8th house and the 9th house, and hence no planet gets exalted in the sign of Scorpio, because secrets of the life, the secrets of the Supreme Energy itself will just not be given to you on a platter. You have to earn it through working on a day-to-day basis of the prarabdha karma which the 9th house represents, by using the experiences that you learn and you face in this life to move toward the Supreme Energy, and you get higher learning and higher understanding why those challenges are coming to you, rather than become acrimonious, rather than becoming cynical, rather than becoming depressed or frustrated. So friends, we have discussed how in each of these signs, Gemini represented by the 3rd house, Leo represented by the 5th house, Scorpio represented by the 8th house, Sagittarius represented by the 9th house, and Aquarius represented by the 11th house, why no planet gets exalted in these signs, Except Scorpio, no planet gets even debilitated in these signs. And why? What is the reason why? These signs are the non-exaltation planet. These signs are the non-exaltation signs, and except Scorpio, these are also the non-debilitation signs of the zodiac. So now that we have understood it, to get better results of these signs, we know that you need to work towards gaining the earnings of these house by working on a house previous to it. So to get more earnings of the third house, to get more willpower, to get better results of your self-effort, you need to work on your principles of the second house. To get better results of having better gains of the fifth house, and overcoming your sanchita karma, you need to do actions of moksha towards the fourth house, which means you need to take care of your family, you need to be able to handle your domestic affairs very, very well and help others do well in their domestic life, and be a more family man, because without doing well in the grihastha ashrama, the moksha will not be given to you easily. And then facing the tribulation, the challenges of the 8th house, you get higher learning, and through the higher learning you understand the spiritual realm, and then you overcome your prarabdha karma or do your actions of the prarabdha karma. And that's why planets do not get exalted neither in the Scorpio sign, neither in the Sagittarius sign. And last but not the least, Aquarius, unless you work towards society's gain, you serve for the society, and you take up some cost which you give back to the society, and not get caught up in your wishes and desires, only then will you get the earnings of the house second to the 11th house, that is 12th house, and that is the biggest house and the biggest sign of moksha. So friends, now that we have this deep understanding, please work towards how you can get better understanding and better gains of these houses. The 5th and 9th houses are very, very important houses of gains also, apart from being the house of sanchita and prarabdha karma. 11th house can be the biggest house of gains at a society level, at a mass level, and the third house can give you the energy, can give you the motivation and the wherewithal to be able to overcome all the challenges and get the fruits of your labor. And the 8th house can give you the strength and give you the heart to be able to face challenges, tribulations and issues without moving in an unethical direction, without moving in a wrong direction, and then getting higher learning of that house and being able to get the gains of the 9th house and overcoming your prarabdha karma. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me at the links given below. Until some other time, with some other video, this is a friend astrologer and guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.